Hey, what's up guys? Today I want to talk about get off me tools, the AoE tools that one should or can use when you are getting rushed down or where you're getting attacked by multiple people and you need something, you need a deterrent, I should say. Before it was the Stormhawk axe, it was the tried and true Stormhawk, and it was everyone's premier tool to killing a bunch of people chasing you down. And while the Stormhawk is no more, as it has been heavily nerfed, there's still some good options out there that might surprise you, or maybe you've been here long enough and so these will come to no surprise. And right now the footage that you're watching is of course Wave of Darkness. This is Wave of Darkness cold infused on a strength build, and there's still a matter of preference whether you should be using a strength or heavy infusion on a strength build, whether you should be using magic infusion because you do have more damage for the wave damage even on a strength build, or whether you use it cold. For me, I like to use it cold because when you do get the proc, because you can actually get a frost proc when you land a full wave with the follow-up, you can definitely get a frost proc. When you do get that frost proc, it definitely out damages the other two options. However, it's not as consistent, so maybe it's not going to be your preferred choice. But Wave of Darkness is most definitely optimal used on a Zweihander on a magic build. So magic infused on a magic build, this is where the real damage comes in. So this is probably the best get off me tool option that there are right now in this game, but obviously you need a magic build for that. So let's talk about Zamor, because Zamor is another one that you see a lot of people using. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind when comparing Zamor and Wave is that when you corner someone with Zamor, there's no timing their roll. They're going to need to panic roll if they want to escape it, because the storm is continuous. It always catches someone, like no matter what timing they roll. Whereas the wave, you can time the rolls to avoid some of it. The damage, it depends on if they stay in there or no, but you can get the nastiest damage with optimized Wave of Darkness for sure when you land it, because it can get some pretty massive AR on the proper build. But this is where the biggest advantage of Zamor comes in. You don't actually need to have any optimized stats or any stat invested whatsoever in order to deal damage with Zamor, because Zamor scales off of the upgrade of the weapon, at least the Ash of War damage. So that means that you could have the minimum requirement for the Zamor, and the Storm is going to deal the same amount of damage with the minimum requirement for the weapon. Or if you had int investment, dex investment, strength investment, doesn't matter what, it doesn't scale off of really anything aside from the actual AR of the weapon, which quite frankly you're not going to be using. You're really going to be using it for the Ash. So that's really the main perk to it. When you're using, let's say, an arcane build, well, your tools are usually pretty limited, but if you have 18 dex, then you can use Zamor as your get off me tool. Another thing to keep in mind though, between using Zamor and Wave of Darkness, is that the storm that Zamor gives you doesn't last or doesn't linger like Wave of Darkness does. Wave of Darkness, there's always one last wave that comes out after you're done with the Ash, and that one last wave kinda can cover your ass to get one free heal off without the opponent being able to freely aggress you. So that's a big deal, because Wave is usually more useful for healing yourself while being protected by something. Whereas Zamor, as soon as you roll out of it, or as soon as you can move out of it, usually the storm will stop at the same time, so you're not really getting any cover to heal afterward. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So when it comes to a defense purpose, Wave can allow you to heal after you do it, whereas Zamor cannot. And obviously the most important difference between the two is that your Wave of Darkness will have a lot, and I mean a lot more hyper armor than Zamor. Like if a Colossal attacks into you, you will be able to trade with Wave of Darkness on his Y-hander. Whereas on Zamor, you're just not going to be able to tank it. They're gonna stun you, and you're not gonna be able to pull out the storm. So that's something that's important to keep in mind. There's more situation where you can use Wave of Darkness, whereas Zamor would simply get stunned. And so that's a major difference between the two. Another thing to keep in mind is Zamor is not like the actual spell Ice Storm. The underrated Ice Storm spell is quite different from the Zamor Ice Storm. It's larger, can be charged, and it lasts way longer. And it has, I believe, even more hyper armor as well. So if you are on some sort of magic build or spell build where you have access to Zamor Ice Storm, or sorry, when you have access to the Ice Storm spell, it's just simply way better than Zamor. So keep that in mind if you want to use the actual Ice Storm. It's a very, very powerful and very underrated and good spell that you should be using instead of Zamor if you have access to it. Obviously, though, again, the main perk of Zamor is that it is very, very build friendly. You can use it on pretty much any build. It's cheap. It's basically cheap get off me tool that you can use on pretty much anything. So I think those are the main points that I wanted to put out there. There was no mention of Black Flame Tornado, because Black Flame Tornado can get, like, you can roll the follow-up of Black Flame Tornado, so that leaves it in a spot where it just doesn't deal enough damage for it to be you know, in the same ballpark as the two other. Although I say that if you are in a Fate build, Black Flame Tornado, even without the follow-up, can still be pretty good. The reason why the follow-up isn't recommended is, while you might be able to pull it off against a few noobs, you can get guaranteed backstabbed yourself out of the follow-up. And so that means that if you do the follow-up, if someone rolls it, well, they're gonna backstab you guaranteed, so you end up losing, basically. You end up on the losing end of the trade. And that makes it so against a little bit decent players, you're going to want to avoid the follow-up. And so you're going to have to look at Black Flame Tornado as if it was only the first part of the Ash that you would be using in a fight. So that's an important distinction that is not really talked about a lot. But those are really the main points I wanted to touch on when it comes to you know, AOE, Ashes of War, get off me tools that you should or should not be using. I hope you guys found this entertaining. I'll catch you guys up next time. Take care, guys. Really see much. It's just I think it's also better if we put on some poise. Not even close. Oh, we can go back here. Question is, though, do we want to keep this? I don't think so. Let's go with this, yeah. Well, same. Oh, that's half my bleed bar. Blue is there. Is he AFK though? Oh, he's moving. Oh. Ah, it was like a good opportunity to Well, do you like these? Oh yeah, he's gonna cheese all the mobs, actually. All of them are fucking bleeds. Real moment. Probably not worth it. Let's go toward this group. Are you suicidal? Don't want to get killed by the PvE yet. Yeah, we got our blue. We're out of our Estus though, or our Physic I should say. I don't know where they're going. Stop healing, you're not in. There you go, like that. Now you are. If you fucking had normal timings like a normal fucking player. Wait. Yeah. Oh, where are you going? Change his plan. Left the host behind. There you go. Insane game. Let's get that out of the way, and then this game smash out of stun. There we go. Wow, I don't know how that missed me. I spaced that. Wow, that's surprisingly high range. Oh my god. I don't know if he did that on purpose or by accident, I'll be honest. Like, I think he just tried to lock onto the other guy and just ended up locking onto me. Bro, that range is weird. Yeah, he's getting a little bit too lucky though. Baby Turtle, you're doing so much damage, it's actually surprising. With the most, like, Baby Turtle weapon possible. Okay. Good jump. Pivot. I love getting hit when the hits are not even intended for me. I think we died twice that way right now. Like, this game is... it's not going very well. Same VHS. Oh, come on, game.